This is the Godox Cube S, a relatively new wireless microphone system that is mini, at least compared to some other bigger microphones like the DJI Mic 2. In fact, I think this Godox is very heavily inspired by the Hollyland Lark M2 because it takes a lot of design cues from the Hollyland in terms of the overall aesthetic as well as the accessories, but there are some key differences. And so I'm going to talk about those in this video, and this entire video is actually going to be filmed using the Godox Cube S microphone. So you're hearing the audio unedited, straight out of camera. So let me know what you think in the comments down below. Also, this video is sponsored by Godox. They sent the unit out for me to test, and they're also paying me to make this video. But if you guys want to hear and see comparisons between the Godox Cube S and other microphone systems, like that Hollyland Lark M2 that I mentioned, then check out my unsponsored comparison video. I'll leave a link in the description below when it's ready. Now, the main advantage to using a wireless microphone system like this is the fact that it is wireless. So as long as you have the transmitter, which has a built-in microphone inside of it, attached to you or the subject that you're trying to film, then you should be getting pretty clear audio, even as you're getting farther away from the camera. So in this case, this microphone system you can be up to 300 meters away from the camera and still be picked up. But if you're familiar with my channel, then you've probably seen me talk about lots of wireless microphones like this. So how is this microphone system different? Well, like the Hollyland, it is ultra compact. So everything from the charging case to the mic units themselves and the receiver are much smaller compared to other wireless mic systems out there, such as the DJI Mic 2. Each component is also a lot more lightweight, and in the case of the Godox, the transmitter is among the lightest that I've ever seen. I think they weigh about 7 grams each, which is a hair lighter than the Hollyland. Now, the receiver is also a lot smaller and lightweight compared to bigger mic systems, but that's because this mic system is made to work with smartphones only. Or at least that's how it's advertised. There are two versions of this mic system. One is a USB-C and the other is a lightning connection. But if you have an iPhone that is iPhone 15 or more recent, then all those iPhones no longer have the lightning connector. So you can actually use the USB-C version with modern day iPhones, which is what I'm doing right here. Once you have the receiver plugged into the phone, then it's pretty much plug and play. Like, there is an accompanying smartphone app that you can use to toggle some settings. I'll talk about that in the next section. But for the most part, you just have to plug in the receiver, turn it on, turn on the transmitter, connect that to your subject, and you're pretty much good to go. Now, on paper, the Godox Cube S is only meant to work with smartphones. But in my testing, I've been able to use it with smaller compact cameras that can accept USB-C microphones, such as action cameras like the Osmo Action 5, the Osmo Action 4, and the DJI Pocket 3, and the Insta360 Ace Pro 1 and 2. Now, speaking of attaching the transmitter to yourself or your subject, you actually have several different ways to do that with the Godox Cube S. So out of the box, the transmitters have a magnet on the back. So you can attach it to yourself via the magnet, which is a little bit more discreet and it gives you more mounting options. You can also attach a magnetic little clip to the back to clip it to yourself, which is a little bit faster and, in my experience, a little more stable as well, because that magnet attachment is so thin. So if you're wearing a really thick jacket or really thick clothing, then the magnet may not attach very well, but that clip pretty much works on anything with an edge to it. And the final way that you can attach the transmitter to your subject is by using the included lanyard or necklace. And again, all of these mounts and the whole mounting system are heavily inspired by the Hollyland Lark M2. So if you use that mic system, the attachments are pretty much the same. Another thing that the Godox has in common with the Hollyland is the fact that it comes with these little stickers. So if you want to, you can put little stickers on the transmitters to, disguise the logo, to give it more character. The only thing I would say is that the stickers that are included are kind of goofy, and I would love it if they would just include plain black or plain white stickers to cover up that logo if you want to. But as it is, I honestly would not use these stickers, but it's a nice gesture. It's a nice thought. Now, you might notice that I've been filming in a somewhat windy area. And the audio, from what I've heard so far anyway, is still sounding pretty good. And that is thanks to the included windscreens. So there are windscreens that you can attach to the transmitters to cover up that microphone and just block out any of the wind noise. And you can do that without losing audio quality. So I definitely have the windscreen attached Anytime I'm filming outside, I always have a windscreen attached because you just never know when a gust of wind can come and throw off your sound. The thing I like about these windscreens is that they are super easy to attach to the transmitter. Again, comparing it to the HoloLens, that mic system also has windscreens, but they're much bigger than the transmitters themselves. And I find them very difficult to actually put on the transmitters versus the Godox. The windscreens are super easy to fit on. They're very form-fitting and very easy to figure out. One thing to note though, because this mic has so many little accessories like all those attachment points and even the windscreens, you actually have to carry around a bigger case to carry everything inside of it. So even though at face value you have this charging case and all these little small components to this mic system, the whole thing ends up being a little bit bigger when you take that case into account. So just something to note. Another thing to know about these transmitters is that you can use them to control your camera from afar when you have the receiver plugged into your device of choice. So I've been using them a lot as remote controls for my cameras, so I can start and stop recording from afar, which is super nice because that way I don't have to carry a separate remote control device. In terms of battery life, the transmitters have 10-hour battery life when they are fully charged, and they come in this really cute little charging case. And so the charging case can recharge the devices twice. So that's quite a bit of battery life. You can go, all day, maybe even a day and a half or 2 days with this charging case. So earlier I mentioned a phone app, so let's go into more detail about that. So once you plug the receiver into your phone, you can go over to the phone app and the app automatically recognizes the transmitters that you have connected to the receiver. By the way, this mic system is not Bluetooth compatible. You do have to plug the receiver into your device. And some people may not like that, but honestly, I actually prefer having the receiver because it is so small and lightweight. Like I barely notice that it's there. And it's just not as fiddly this way because when you're doing Bluetooth, there's always a possibility of the mic system losing contact. You often have to reconnect or pair those devices. And yeah, in general, I actually prefer having the receiver. I actually don't like having that Bluetooth connection in most cases. But anyway, back to that phone app. So super simple to access. Once you open it, there are just a few settings that you can toggle. One of them is noise cancellation. So that is something that can be nice to have. There's 2 different levels which you can control in the app. You can make it gentle or strong. So let's test that out and hear the differences. Okay, so the Godox also has a denoise feature. There's 2 different levels. So right now we have it on gentle denoise.
Yeah, I like that. Gentle.
Gentle.
Like the waves are really gentle right now. Maybe you can hear them, maybe you can't. Maybe they're pleasant, maybe they're not. But I'm now starting this different genre of video where we record video without talking and with ambient sound. And then you want to pleasantly blend, either leave it as it was if it's nice enough, or blend some voice or some music. And the ambient sound you're catching matters.
So there's another level of denoising. So this is the intense level. And you can actually turn it on with the transmitter by tapping on the side button. But again, when you do that, it starts to rustle the microphone, make some noise. So it's a little bit cleaner to do it from the app. But also within the app, you can choose the intensity because you can't choose that within the transmitter.
Previous experience has showed me these intense versions of the noise cancellation are too much. Now, this is a tiny microphone with a low price point relatively. And when you look at a big mic with big price point, you start seeing how they're putting things inside physically to do this kind of stuff. While here, for the most part, they're applying software on top. And you sacrifice something when you're doing that.
All right, I am super curious. I have to do this test. This is an audio comparison between the Godox Cube S and the DJI Mic 2 transmitter. This is what it sounds like. Let me know what you guys think. Something else you can also do in the Godox phone app is monitor your audio levels, or at least verify that the transmitters are properly connected. So I like to see that because whenever I'm filming in the iPhone app, which is what I'm doing right now, there are no audio levels. So I'm always like, oh, I'm not really sure if my audio or my microphones are properly connected. So going into the Godox app before I start filming just gives me that peace of mind. And the other thing that's really nice about the app that you can toggle is the ability to listen to the playback of your videos with the audio without having to eject the receiver from the phone. So a lot of times if you plug in a USB-C device into your phone, then you have a hard time listening to the audio playback on a video without ejecting the receiver. But in the case of this Godox Cube S, you actually can listen to the playback without having to take apart your mic system. And the final feature that I think is noteworthy about the Godox Cube S, it's actually the first mic system I've seen that has this feature, but that's the ability to pair it to Apple Find My app. So if you use Apple devices like iPhone or a MacBook, I actually use both, then there's this app that Apple has to be able to find your device. I actually use it probably at least once a week, several times a week, to find my phone. So using my MacBook, I can, power up the app and I can say, play a loud sound on my phone if I can't find it. And again, I use that feature a lot with my own devices. And so the ability to connect another object, such as this Godox Cube S, to that whole system is super handy. Because it's so small, I can definitely see myself misplacing it. So being able to find it through an app like that is a really unique feature. I'd love to see that on other compact devices as well. So far so good. There are a lot of good features about this mic system that I do like, but there are some drawbacks. Because it is a more budget-centered microphone, and it's also a little bit smaller. So there are some things that they had to omit to make that possible. One is internal recording. You don't have it on this mic system. You also don't have the ability to connect a wired lavalier microphone, and you're missing some pro features like 32-bit float and timecode. You also can only shoot in mono audio. You cannot shoot in stereo or safety track audio on this mic system. But despite those drawbacks, again, this is a fairly cheap microphone for what it is. You can get the 2-transmitter version for just over $100 or the 1-transmitter version for just over $50. So considering all of the accessories and features that you get on this little mic system, I think the price is pretty good. But you guys let me know what you think in the comments down below in terms of the features, in terms of the cost, and in terms of the audio quality, because again, I've been filming this entire video using the mic system. It's unedited, so let me know your thoughts down below. And stay tuned because I do have a video coming up where I compare this mic system to other miniature mic systems on the market, including the Hollyland Lark M2, the Rode Wireless Micro, and the upcoming DJI Mic Mini. So stay tuned for that video. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one.